Yelena sits on top of the building thinking about her past and how everything went downhill after her sister's death. She makes the decision to jump off the building and land on another one, taking a few guards along the way as her job is to clean up whatever they tell her. But she no longer feels any purpose or happiness in life. She enters a laboratory where they run a test, a guinea pig. Her task is to destroy evidence in this mission, and a scientist threatens her with a gun, telling her this is a mistake and that Project Sentry is not what Valentina claims it to be, who sent Yelena on this mission. The scientist then shoots himself. Yelena steps outside and the lab explodes. So the mission is complete. Now we turn to Bucky, the congressman. He enters a courtroom to confront Valentina, aiming to remove her from her office and her position as CIA director because of illegal trial experiments in the Ox lab. Rumors of human experiments to create a superhum. She defends herself, claiming they have no Avengers or heroes to save them, and she is there to protect the citizens. She rejects the charges against her. After the courtroom, she orders her assistant Mel to get rid of any evidence that could send her to prison. Meanwhile, Alexa, the Red Guardian, is sitting on his couch when his daughter, whom he hasn't seen in a year, arrives. He now works as a driver and owns a limousine. Yelena wants to talk about Valentina because she wants to quit her job, which angers her father, who would do anything just to work for her. He wants her number because he wants to be a hero, as he was happiest when saving others and receiving cheers. After the visit and a conversation with Valentina, she gives Yelena her final mission to enter a vault in a mountain that holds all Ox confidential assets. Someone will come to steal from her, and Yelena needs to follow the target, find out what they want, then eliminate the target, and afterwards she will be free. Yelena takes photos there and John attacks her. He is also in the vault, and his task is to eliminate her. Then Taskmaster appears saying she has come for John. Yelena is confused about what's happening because her target ghost now appears and attacks them. They all start fighting, John knocking down Yelena, Ghost killing Taskmaster. Suddenly a noise reveals Bob, who has been there the entire time and doesn't know how he got there. Meanwhile, Bucky meets with Mel, who wants to win her over, and gives her a card in case she has any secrets to share to take down Valentina. Back at the vault, they realize that everyone is working for Valentina, who set them up to kill each other, except Bob, who has no orders. They are all targets and evidence, which Bob finds funny, even though he doesn't understand what's happening. Ghost wants to leave, but a sound barrier stops her, and they see they are trapped inside. Valentina uses a tablet to increase heat in the vault, trying to burn them alive. The countdown begins, and the first step is to deactivate the sound barrier. Ghost manages through and opens the doors at the last moment. After an explosion, Yelena has a vision of her childhood during her first mission, where she was forced to lure someone she cared about and kill them, which haunts her. She sees Bob and wakes up holding hands with him. Back with Mel, she informs Valentina that her guests survived the vault because they united and are now against her. Valentina doesn't believe it, calling them losers, which she dismisses. She sees stranger Bob and seeks information about him, not knowing their driver has been the Red Guardian the whole time. In the mountain, John wants to know how Bob got there. He is the only civilian. Bob calls him an idiot and says he is useless Captain America ever. Yelena eases the tension, telling Bob that if he feels emotionally weak, he should channel his dark side, his void down to the bottom. John makes an escape route which they join. Bucky receives a call from Mel, who says he can protect her if she helps to get her boss Val. The group arrives at a tunnel, but the exit is far above them. John jumps and pretends to hurt himself slightly, but Bob suggests they do something else. They all push each other to the top. John saves himself while the others fall, and Yelena saves Bob. As they climb, John offers his hand to Bob, leading him into a vision where John is a fallen hero. The media reports about this, where he ignores his baby and argues with wife while others are waiting. Mel uncovers information about Bob, whose real name is Robert, the only successful experiment of the Sentry Project designed as a super soldier. She sends her team ahead to the vault, which is full of military preparing to enter. Val instructs them to be non-lethal because she wants to keep someone inside. Bob and Yelena go to disable the lights and help John fight the military while Ghost has vanished. They fail to do so, and John fights alone. The rest join in, with Bob feeling guilty about shooting, but then aiming at John. They steal uniforms to blend in with Bob playing the injured man. Ava the ghost arrives to pick them up in a truck. At the gate, an identity check nearly exposes them, but Bob sacrifices himself to distract the guards, allowing the others to escape. Bob is shot but quickly recovers, then leaps into the air, causing chaos. The team is scattered, and Yelena shows evidence from the vault about the super soldier experiments. All subjects died except Bob, now known as Robert. Valentina plans to relocate the old base and orders the killing of Yelena and others as they are the last pieces of evidence. They hide in the desert, alerted by the sound of Red Guardian's horn, having overheard Valentina's conversation about harming his daughter. He now rescues them, though Yelena is embarrassed. Alexei notices they've joined forces and hears that their team is called Thunderbolts, named after Yelena's kids' soccer team, which has yet to win a game. A convoy approaches and Alexa speeds up, but goes only so far. He seeks vodka to burn them, which proves ineffective. Ghost tries to help but is stopped by the sound barrier. Yena joins her while Bucky helps them escape, but also hinders them by knocking the car down. Valentina moves to a new location with Robert. Her attempt to buy his loyalty is present. She tries to poison his mind and use his powers for her own purposes, touching him and triggering a childhood memory where her father told her to stay silent and hide after he was killed. Valentina leaves, instructing to have press here in the morning. Meanwhile, Bucky has gathered others and tied them up to use as evidence for a dismissal against Valentina in committee. They declare they no longer serve her, discussing Project Sentry and Bob, but Bucky remains skeptical. Just then, Mel calls telling him, and then he's changing his mind and needs a team for this mission. Valentina notices Mel's behavior and tells her to come to her senses. Then Bob shows initial signs of his power and potential. Bucky prepares his team, which includes the Red Guardian. Excited to be part of this new effort, Valentina invites them to enter without fighting, suggesting they take a lift where she waits alone. She tries to persuade them to give up. She finds them amusing, especially with Santa on the team. Bucky tries to reach her, but she's not alone. Her guardian Robert as Sentry is there, more powerful than the Avengers. Valentina wants to eliminate this team, the Thunderbolts. A Red Guardian attacks first, followed by the others who are thrown aside like toys. No one can approach or harm him. He resembles a new-era Superman, more blonde and indeed omnipotent. Bucky only manages to stay at the end, dealing no damage and losing his arm in the process. The team flees, but Robert refuses to finish the job, calling them no threat. Robert declares he won't obey anyone's orders, being all-powerful. Valentina retreats with a device that falls, finding herself in trouble, but Mel intervenes and the shadow falls over Sentry. The team stands outside a building. Red Guardian wants to regroup and plan, but Yelena dismisses, saying they won't succeed. Alexei approaches her, regretful for leaving her, thinking she didn't want him, but now he's there for her. People gather behind them, staring at the dark side of Robert, consumed by the void. The military attacks, but he makes them disappear from the earth. Instantly, chaos ensues as Thunderbolts help civilians, uniting and increasing their power, leading to applause. A young girl is in danger, and Red Guardian rescues her. But Sentry takes the civilians, his darkness spreading across the city. Everyone flees except Yelena, who approaches him, looks into his eyes, and then steps into the darkness, breaking her father's gaze. Yelena awakens in her memory, a dark moment from her past that keeps repeating itself. She sees herself in a room where she first drew a pistol, and others were punished. Her team considers joining her, but Bucky believes she's dead, and John suggests he might have a solution. Having had a vision involving Bob, Yelena moves to another room and finds Bob sitting, his dark side, the void, having taken control, and he's doing nothing about it. This is his best room. The others are worse. She supports him, telling him he can't do this alone, that he must let it out so they can fight it together. Suddenly, their team arrives to rescue them. They've all overcome their past, with Bob leading them toward his worst room. As darkness spreads outside, the last room is the darkest side of Bob, who has given up on life. An experimental drug is offered to him, promising to make him stronger and be someone who matters. Dark Bob attacks, telling him he means nothing to anyone. Bob retaliates, not wanting to be alone forever, but to be a savior, which gives him strength. He fights relentlessly, but the darkness grows stronger. threatening to consume him. The rest of the team sees this, and Yelena frees herself to stop him, hugging him so he will never be alone. Everyone joins in and the void disappears. The city is restored. Everyone returns to where they belonged. And Bob feels confused. Not remembering what happened, they see Valentina searching alone for extraction and fleeing, claiming she secretly worked and formed a new Avengers team. A new Grain Flakes box appears with an Avengers picture, including Red Guardian, but no one recognizes him. 14 months later, everyone discusses threats from outer space. Alexei showcases his new Avengers suit with Z. Satellite images show a ship entering Earth's atmosphere, revealing the arrival of the Fantastic Four approaching the planet.